Hello all, welcome to part 4 of the router hacking video series on SecurityTube. So in this video, we will look at how to launch SNMP based attacks on routers. So the first question arises, what is SNMP? Well, SNMP or Simple Network Management Protocol is actually a very simple protocol used by network administrators to manage devices. So SNMP generally runs over UDP, where the network administrator can have an SNMP manager which queries the SNMP enabled network devices such as routers, firewalls, VPNs, etc. for various running configuration information. Also at times, SNMP devices can be configured in order to allow various configuration changes via the SNMP manager. So, as in the previous series, we will use the open source Viata router for all our demos. So hopefully you set up Viata. Let's log into Viata and look at the exact configuration which might lead to SNMP based vulnerabilities. So we go ahead, run the show configuration command, and then in protocols we see that SNMP is enabled and the community string is public, and even more worrisome is that the authorization is read-write. So what does this mean? Well, this basically means that the device is capable of receiving SNMP commands by an SNMP manager, and the community string, which is basically the authentication password used in SNMP, is set to the default value public, which is generally true for most out-of-the-box devices. Also, the authorization given to the SNMP manager using the public community string is read-write, which actually means that an SNMP manager can not just read configurational information on the router, but also change it. So I leave it as an exercise to you to configure SNMP on Viata so that you can conduct this demo yourself. Now let's go ahead and go to our backtrack instance to launch an SNMP attack. So we go ahead and enter the pentest enumeration SNMPCheck directory, where we are going to run the SNMP enumerator tool called SNMPCheck. So the thing of quick interest to us in SNMP enumerator is that we need to provide the IP address or range, which we already know, and -C is basically the SNMP community string. The default value is public, which is what has been set on the router, so there's nothing to worry about. Now in a later video, we'll show you how to brute force the SNMP community string using Metasploit. However, in this video, we'll assume that it is one of the default strings based on the device. So now let's go ahead, run SNMPCheck -t 192.168.121.252, which is the IP address of our router, and then let's pipe it to less. So as we can see, SNMP enumerator tried to connect to the router and then successfully connected, and from here on the output which you're seeing is the actual information pulled out of the Viata router over SNMP. So as we can see, there's a lot of interesting information such as uptime, then we have hardware and storage information, a lot of interesting stuff, virtual memory, cached memory, the devices which are there, the various interfaces, right? Even the processes which are currently running on the router. This is pretty interesting. And here is the detailed network interfaces part which can be pulled out. Here's the routing information. Now, as you can imagine, there's a lot of information which an attacker can use for further attacks. We also have the listening TCP and UDP ports. So, well, what we really wanted to prove in this demo is that if a weak community string is chosen, which can be easily guessed, or is the out-of-the-box default one, then using tools such as SNMP enumerator it is easily possible to pull out information from the router. Now, unbelievably, a lot of devices, not just routers, are vulnerable to SNMP based attacks. Now, a misconfiguration could be to actually allow the SNMP manager to connect to the router from any interface, which would also be the outbound interface towards the internet, in which case an attacker anywhere on the internet could pull out this information. Okay, so that's all for this video. If you really want to learn more, I would encourage you to download Viata, install and run SNMP on it, and then try out SNMPCheck yourself. I would really appreciate if you can leave a comment behind, as this encourages me to make more videos. That's all. Thank you.